TGIF Warriors NFP day. One more salvo for opportunities. How's everyone doing today?
Good. Morning, Dale.
Hey, how are you, man? Guys, Ryan, very nice gold trade yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, really nice job.
One more trade and then the pub.
Okay, so you holding this one?
Yeah, I've got some margin in it, so I hold it over non-farms.
Okay. Guys, see my chart?
Not yet.
Oh,
that's a negative, Ghost Rider. Do you want me to take it real quick and you can take it back?
no, just go ahead. Go ahead, you can take it.
Well, fine.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
TGIF.
TGIF, Dale. How you doing?
I thought it was Friday, Wednesday. Does that answer?
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. So
how you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, good, mate.
Ryan,
You
came in. You younger guys can stay tough 5 days a week.
Oh,
I think
it's okay on the flow show. This is one of those weeks you look forward to it because it's really busy. Then you get to the end of it and you can't wait for it to finish.
Yeah. That's great.
So so Dale, as we head into non-farm payroll, what I mean, I gotta ask, what are you thinking, man? You were talking just a moment about gold. Who had the big trade in gold? Was it Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan yesterday, and a great coaching tip along with it. Only pay attention to your big levels and forget the noise.
Right here. That's right, Ryan. You picked it up down here. Great trade. Now my memory is being refreshed.
It's weird is we took out the low right next to it, the prior low, but not the low all the way back at the bottom. I was surprised they didn't take out stops. So I always am when they don't. I think stops always are taken out, but 90% of the time. Huh?
As the old saying goes, a level is a level until it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the other things I always say, Ryan, is when you're heading into really key support like that, and like just imagine this is what gold was doing yesterday. It always looks most bearish when you're at key support, right? I mean, everybody looks at that. I'm like, world's falling. I'm a gold bull. World's falling, and and then all of a sudden you get a bounce off of.
I call that a graveyard save, which is actually a pinball terminology.
There's pinball terminology, Dale.
Yeah, that's when the ball is about to, you're about to lose it, and it's heading right into the hole. But you time your flip just right, not simultaneously the flippers, but one flipper a little faster than the other, and you actually save the ball from going down the hole. That's a graveyard save.
I like that terminology.
Now you know what I did in my teenage years.
Yeah, well. Hey, anyway. I got a question for you, Ryan, and I don't know if Kman's here, and because I know Stelios is out, and Steve and I are a little behind the curve today. Got back from Tombstone yesterday. I don't know if you, Dale,
did you see the picture?
Did you see the picture?
How far is that from you, Blake?
3 hours.
Okay. Past Tucson, or
what's that?
Is it past Tucson?
It is past Tucson. That is correct. It is past Tucson. And if you guys missed
You've done some driving, man.
If you missed the picture, I'll just show you real quick. This is that was us yesterday, right?
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun, but we got home pretty late and had dinner, and then here, and then Steve and his family has been packing. They are on their way out of town today, so a little behind the curve with everything. But what I
first Greek outlaw I've ever seen,
or in half Chinese one.
The whole country.
Let me make sure everybody sees that. Yeah,
it's very woke. You have all the different ethnicities in the Old West.
Right. we do. But I wanted to ask, because one of the observations I made this morning is this huge huge rally in the Aussie, and then I started looking at Chinese equities, and they have ripped up significantly. And
copper.
Copper. You got this this opening or reopening in China. Some news that Hong Kong might be reopening, and maybe Macau. So what's happening overnight in China that's caused this rip up in the Aussie? Because the Aussie is like, it's one of those, I want to be long the Aussie. Most people know that, and I actually really struggled on selling the Aussie this week, even though I did it following the
Fed,
the Fed, but I cleared everything out yesterday before I went to Tombstone, took all my profits off the table. It was a really nice locking in from Wednesday, but here the Aussie's like taking off without me. That's how I feel this morning. So what has happened in China overnight that's caused all this? Can you guys recap?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. We're seeing a bit of after reaction from the FOMC, bit of a bounce. As Dale said, you look at your wider levels, stay out the noise. One of those levels was 62.70 that I put on a chart in the room yesterday. We got down to 62.72, I think, before bouncing. The old adage, if it ain't going down, it's only got one other way to go. But we had rumours overnight. Started off with apparently they were going to stop suspending flights where there's COVID problems. That gave a lift to the yuan. Then that got half denied. Another foreign minister came out and said, well, we're not aware of any such plans. So no straight denial. Then we had another one from an ex-government expert on diseases saying that they will be changing their COVID policy within 5 to 6 months substantially. So that got everything going the other way. I've not seen those Macau ones. Were they out just not so long ago? But yeah, generally it's coming to a point, as I said on the Flow Show, where we're at no smoke without fire for all these rumors.
Got it. Okay. Well, it sure does. It sure did move the market. And I love this setup in the Chinese. This Hong Kong. It would be Hang Seng, right? Is that correct? I'm gonna make sure I got my. It's so early in the morning. So you got the Hang Seng index. A nice reversal, inverted head and shoulder pattern. This is pretty much a classic setup here. I really do like what is happening. So I guess, and this would be my opinion going into today. What I'd love to see is a little stronger number. I mean, and this is my observation. As soon as I got into the chat room, I'm like, give me a stronger number today. Let the stock market pull back. Let the dollar, bounce a little bit. I think I want to sell dollars into strength, and I think I'd like to buy Aussies on dips because, overall, not the jobs report's the jobs report. We're going to have to see a lot of cumulative data weaken in order for the Fed to really change their stripes, if you will. And really the key data is going to be next week looking at inflation. I know jobs, everybody's looking at jobs too, but I'd really like to see, inflation come down because I think that's what the Fed's looking for. So any type of strong data, might set back the stock market a little bit. The dollar might continue to bounce because you look at the dollar index, we might get a bounce back up towards, let's just say this channel resistance right here, right? But if we can get that, I'd like to sell into strength because China is a much bigger fish in the sea than cumulative or just one piece of data, because the Fed's going to require a lot of data to come in weak. Like I said, not just jobs. It's going to have to be jobs for a couple of we just heard from the Fed, so it's going to have to be jobs for the next couple months. We're going to have to see weak inflation data for the next couple of months, and then once we start to see that, then they might bend the knee a little bit. But what would really move the needle at the moment is if China re-engages and gets off the zero COVID policy. I mean, what do you guys think about my thought process here?
Yeah, China's a beast.
So. It is. It is a beast, and it's been an
overhang on growth
on the global economy, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So anyway, just some, my thoughts in this whole process. Like I said, I think the best case, because Kman was, jumped in the chat room and he said, how about if the data is stronger? Do you think, wouldn't buy dollars, buy dollars, be a strong, mover? And I'm like, man, I'm sure it would be, but what I'd rather have weak data or strong data today, dollar strength, and sell into it. I think what he meant was what I was trying to say is, on the opposite, we get an opposite move. But for me, what I hope for is I hope we just see some strong data today. Stocks pull back, dollar rallies a little bit, and I'm going to sell into some strength. So anyway, that's kind of like my master plan. What are you thinking this morning? So we don't have Stelios here.
I think it's important.
Dale, what do you think? Yeah,
if you pull up your copper chart, that's a big day, and it's cutting through a lot of downtrends.
And there was a triangle that broke out, if I'm not mistaken.
I figured there was some kind of formation, but I think this is an important signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
It's carrying silver too with it.
It is.
Yeah.
And even
bringing up the rear.
Right. And I mean, this is a big breakout in copper. I mean, triangle patterns are pretty strong. Now, obviously it can fail here, but this is suggesting, hey, the stock market really wants to rally. China is a big deal today. That's signaling that we could have a bout of growth. But let's also continue this conversation. Let's say China does come out of the zero COVID policy. What does that do for the inflationary pressures globally?
Makes the Fed's job tougher.
Yeah, I know Kman just jumped in. Ryan, what do you think about that? I mean, that's going to be
the inflation side of things.
What's that?
The inflation side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest, because we're dealing with this inflation. China is still open; it's still producing. They've moved away from locking down huge factories. Now they try to limit the thing. We know that supply chains have eased, so in theory, the inflationary pressure should be negative. Or it should be a lower inflationary pressure because of those easing problems. But opening up, I don't think it's going to bring the flood of goods to the market that many would have expected maybe 6 months ago, as I said, because of supply chains easing. So I don't think the effect is going to be hugely great, but it might help the inflation picture. I mean, we saw PPI in the Eurozone lower today. So, we're looking at the inflation numbers. They are starting to move lower. Could China add to that? We'll have to wait and see. It needs full confirmation that they're opening.
Okay. Kman, do you have any thoughts regarding that?
Yeah, if China reopens, I think it might be the first reaction, maybe a bit more inflationary, because they're going to buy a lot of stuff to remanufacture, start up the manufacturing process again. But then afterwards, it should be deflationary because they are going to flood the market with cheaper goods again. But what my thought is on China, and I had and into the NFP actually, the both linked. And waking up this morning, I had the feeling we were going to have a replay of what happened on FOMC. Depending on the side of the data, if the data is good, the dollar rips. If the data is bad, people callers will be out again, a little bit like FOMC, what you get or what you don't get. And my idea was that we could see the same process that I was saying in the yen, like dollar yen underperforming and on a good report and crashing more quickly on a bad report, and that would put pressure again on the yen process. But this China thing, and the market really seems to react to it, because we are seeing gold higher, silver higher a lot. We're seeing China stronger. We are seeing the Aussie stronger. So that's going to be the play, I think, if we are seeing not a disastrous, but a slightly weaker dollar print out of the NFP, I think stuff like gold and silver may really start to fly here. And I'm keeping a very, very close eye on silver.
All right.
Also, and
which one, your left or right?
Sorry, sir?
Which eye? Your left or right eye?
Dale's trying to be a smart ass on a Friday.
I really rude one.
I'm getting a bit tired. I'm not even understanding the joke. But what I was looking at is that those 3 prints under 19 in silver, they have been strongly rejected the last week.
Yeah,
it's really strongly rejected, and I think silver is ready to take off on any slightly weaker dollar print with China perhaps in mind, at least for today, and into next week. Silver may really take off if we get an NFP print that would warrant it.
I'd say 21's a breakout.
Yeah, I was going to say
21 figure 15 is going to be the key, but I already have a small trend line in the shorter term around here, basically.
Yeah, right. It's what you're seeing on the chart right now. I mean,
that's one.
Yeah, I mean, it's $20. I mean, you get it's a 618 retracement right here. I mean, you get above it and it's a bunch of rejections. See, it's very pivotal. Get above that, and we're trading up at 21 pretty quick. I would think. All right, so I love it. And Kman, remember this morning, and maybe you can clarify. Like I said today, for me now, what I expect and what happens, 2 totally different things. I don't try to, say, oh well, the number is going to be stronger, and here's the reasons why. I'm not going to play that. I'm a bank analyst. I'm going to play hey, what I hope today is going to happen, what I'd love to see is I'd love to see a stronger jobs number. I mean, the market is expecting 200,000 jobs. Expecting, I think, unemployment to tick up to 5.3%, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go. Let me double check that.
3.6.
Is it what?
3.6 from 3.5 prior.
The 5.3.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Canadian employment. Okay, 3.6 from 3.5. That's what I meant to say. 5.3 from 5.2 for Canada. So I'm expecting, I think that's what the market's expecting. But I'd love to see actually some strong data today. So let's say unemployment rate doesn't really move. Let's say we create 250,000 jobs, something like that, and the unemployment rate stays low. I mean, what's going to happen is you're going to see this rip up in the dollar. You're going to see stocks pull back, but I think that's a buying opportunity for risk. I think it's a selling opportunity for the dollar. That's what I hope happens. But Kman, you had some comments regarding that in the chat room. Can you explain?
Yeah, and we have to again distinguish currencies. Okay, it's going to be a selective thing, but if
not a one size fits all. That doesn't work, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening on my. Okay, no, what I meant is that you're probably going to have people recalling what the FOMC did and probably selling things like or buying dollars versus I don't know, euro, sterling. Yen, for instance, as well, trying to buy it, but a good and that's what I meant. But if you get a good report, perhaps it's going to give you the opportunity, because when you look at Aussie, for instance, on the back of China, maybe that's giving you the opportunity to buy dips on the Aussie dollar.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And a good report, inversely, is, I think, going to be very good for Mexican peso. Very good.
The
risk side of things.
So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Look, I'm a Mexican peso bull. And yesterday, or is it yesterday? I'm trying to think. Yesterday I got out of it, but post non-farm payroll, I played it long off of the spike, rally off the 1950 level. Sold it yesterday when it was back up at 1970s, like mid 70s, whatever. If you guys are in, let me just show you guys. If you're in the ForexAnalytix chat room and you go into the trades room, right? In the trades room, you'll notice that we post our trades here. Well, I scalped out of the cable yesterday just before I left for Tombstone. But I'll just show you guys, this is where I got out of the dollar mex. It's 19.7488, buying it at 19.62 post.
You got the top there of the retracement.
It did, but that wasn't, I don't want to say it's by luck, because the reason why it's not by luck is because it was just previous support was current resistance, right? So this is previous support here. I knew this whole level would be tough. Anyway, you said that if the data is, now let me just make sure I clarify this. If the data is strong, right, then it is going to be good for the dollar max, correct?
It's going to be good for the Mexican peso because of its proximity to the US. And I know you're looking at dollar max, but I'm still having my.
You're still focused on the euro max. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the report is good, I think I may try to really hammer this one. I think then we're going to go through the 19.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, that's because you know me, I'm trading the dollar max. I'm definitely bearish the dollar max, but
where's your trend line gone from 2017 on the dollar max? Because you highlighted that one, and we are absolutely turning around right now.
From this one right here,
2017.
No, 2017.
You were the one who showed this one at the start.
Right here, yeah.
2017 low over the 2020 low, and it's
there
here.
Yeah.
It's going to be important for what's happening for the dollar mix on the
right. We're on it. We're on it. We're definitely on it. Hey, we got about 10 minutes. Look, we've been kind of focused on FX, but we talked a little bit about gold and silver. How are you guys feeling about stocks here? And I know Stelios isn't here, but Ryan and Dale, what do you guys think about the S&P at the moment? I mean, do you get long? Do you get short? Do we sell it into I mean, what do we do?
I like the way 37 held yesterday.
So you like this 50% retracement right here? It did hold.
I'm not saying, it's not a great weekly candle, so there could be a little pressure early in the week, but this is an area, if it's going to hold, has to dig its heels in. I wouldn't want to see 36 again.
Okay. All right. Well,
under 36, you're talking 2,500.
Ooh, man.
You go 36 to 48.
I think I just pooped my pants, Dale.
Oh, well, buy some Pampers. They're very comfortable.
Okay. Now that's funny. That is funny. All right, Ryan, what are your thoughts on risk here, just in general?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at that Fed low. It made a low there, even on a hawkish Fed for a reason. So that gives you an area to watch. And if it's a strong number reinforcing the Fed's new hawkish twist, that level has to break. If it can't break, as I said on the flow show with other assets, if it can't break, there's only one way it can go.
Awesome. All right. Well,
it's a coin toss.
It is for me right now. It is, and that's why actually a couple things. Like I said, I was traveling into Tombstone with Steve and his family because they're actually off to the airport here this morning. I'm going to take him over to the airport here in the next couple hours. But I pulled all my positions off yesterday more because I'm unsure right now. I really am not comfortable with A, how the market's going to react to today's data. B, I know we're in the middle of this. We're at the 50% retracement, literally, of the last range you see here in the S&P. Like, we are stuck right in the middle at this moment, ahead of the jobs report. Most people that know me, and you've been around me for the last 5, 10, 20 years listening to my analysis, that whenever there's a big event, we start to get mid-range, and we are pretty much, if you look at the S&P in the range, we are smack dab in the middle of the range. So it's because the market is undecided here. It's
kind of amazing how it held up, Blake, don't you think, with MAGA and FANG absolutely getting eviscerated.
Oh my God, Fang was. I mean, it was like one of the charts that I highlighted when I was with Chris Weston from Pepperstone. This is Fang yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Amazon and Google; they are
Yeah.
at all, like, and I say all time lows. I
When
would
do you
just
think
about
we would
blurted
have
that
had a
out, but
crash?
you would have thought. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but obviously money's got to go somewhere, Dale. So, you know, it
Yeah.
comes out of NASDAQ and it comes out of some of these big names.
It never sleeps either.
It doesn't
it
sleep.
be.
So where's it at? It's now it's in miners, and now it's hey, that's funny. I've heard somebody say that before. Real quick, I know we got 5 minutes from the jobs report. I just want to mention we do have Canadian jobs that's coming out too. But if you guys haven't checked out the trader funding program, you want to learn how to trade our money, and not your own money, not risk your own money, but keep 75% of the return and be involved with the ForexAnalytix community. Have ideas like trade ideas here that, you know, I post, that Ryan posts, Kman posts, and traders all in our community. You know, come be involved in ForexAnalytix and get involved with the trader funding program. Check it out. See if it's right for you. Watch that 2-minute video right there. We have just a couple of minutes. Best play going into today's jobs as I pull up the dollar CAD. What do you think, Ryan? Let's start with you.
Dollar CAD. We'll talk about the CAD jobs report.
Yeah. That's your play right now. You're gonna. I mean, look, we just bounced off that trend line. If you do have ForexAnalytix, you already knew that going into the data because you were identified just about an hour ago that we hit that trend line. We could probably find some support there. So you're gonna play that, eh?
Who, me? No, I'm looking at the 135. That's my level.
Yeah,
135. You notice how I said
shoulders
A,
top too.
A.
If it fails there.
If what?
Head and shoulders top. If it,
Amanda's been talking about that, and yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of a head and shoulder top. Nice 618 failure. So I think if it breaks 135, it's got all sorts of problems, right? Yeah. And that would suggest on a breakdown like that, we're going to have some risk on.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, and plus you got oil that is well above 90 breaking out higher. That's going to be a nice tailwind for the Canadian dollar, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a great choice, Ryan. I like it. Kman, what are your thoughts? What's your best idea today?
The combination of two good reports, let's put it, if we get them, should put a lot of pressure, I think, upward pressure on Canadian dollars. And I'm looking at Euro CAD, I'm looking at Canada yen in a way as well, or perhaps sterling CAD. And I like Euro Aussie because if it's really starting to move in China, this Euro Aussie could have a lot of room lower.
Yes.
And we are on it. We are on the support.
Yeah, we are. That's a big level of support right here. Great eye. I like that too. Okay, Dale, what's your best idea here?
Buy TLT on a strong number. Buy notes.
All right,
buy
so
treasuries.
You want to buy treasuries? I think you're joining your good friend Jim Welsh in that venture, and I think
it's an island bottom. It's a pretty rare, you know, and it survived the Fed. So let's see if it could survive the NFP.
All right, that sounds good. And you know, for me, I'm looking to buy dips in the Aussie dollar. I think this China news is much bigger. And so any dip in the Aussie, I'm going to buy it. I'm hoping for a stronger number. So if we get a stronger number and the Aussie can dip back down to, like, let's say 63 cents, I'm going to get long, and I'm probably going to get fairly aggressive because I'm starting to look at it as I'm going to buy dips, and as long as we stay above this low 61.70, I want to be in it. And so that's what I'm doing here for today. So we're going to cover this news live. We have data coming out in approximately 1 minute. I do want to mention that if you're part of the ForexAnalytix community, make sure you check us out. You know, try it out. It's $1 for 10 days, or jump in the trader funding program. That's a really great way to be able to be involved. But you have your data flash here. So we're going to see what the data is right as it comes out. Here's the data. I'm going to put it back over onto Live Squawk, the feed that comes directly from Live Squawk. That's right here. And you know, you should check them out too. Great partners to have in this whole venture that we do. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the charts, and let's pull up the dollar CAD. Whoops, let me do this. I want to pull up here with 3 charts that we can see, and let's keep the let's keep the dollar Canadian on.
5 seconds. Be quick. Be quick.
All right, here we go. Oh, shoot, that's all. Damn. All right.
261.
Wow, look at the dollar CAD. It's ripping higher. Okay. The Aussie dollar is coming off. That is
very strong Canadian report. I can barely believe it.
Look at the Canadian employment data, guys. Wow.
I sold EuroCAD on this one. Let's see.
I am buying some Aussie dollar on this dip. Yep. All right. And dollar CAD, we got to be selling dollar CAD, right? Or you did you say Euro CAD?
I revised that. Yeah, because the US report is also stronger, so I prefer that one.
Yeah, look at the dollar CAD rolling over. Let's get back over to the Aussie really quick. Sorry guys, I was like a little unprepared there. I was buying that dip here. Dollar CAD has rolled over. Very, very interesting moves. How's the S&P? The S&P, we saw that dip, right? You wanted a stronger number, you get a stronger number. Market dips, you can take advantage of that. Watch the S&P, it's going to bounce right back.
2 days in a row. 10-year yield is peaking at 421. It's still 14 bips under the high 435.
Nice. Damn it, I really wanted to sell more of this this dollar CAD, but whatever, do it there, and let's see if it holds. But look at the dip in the S&P. Nice Aussie dollar being bought. This is the kind of stuff you want to see. So look guys, I think it's going to be a fun day in the markets today, but I'm not the only one here, nor is Ryan, nor is Kman, nor is Dale, and even Steve is listening in, but we have Mr. Harold Malmgren in, and it's really nice when we get blessed with his presence. So Dale, I want to say thanks for guiding us this week. You are always, such a pleasure to be with all week long, and keeping the ship straight. So thank you so much. Team, thank you for all of your efforts this week, especially I've been kind of absent throughout the week, having Steve visiting in from Athens, Greece, him and his family staying with us. So next week we'll be in full force. We'll see you guys next week. And Dale, have a wonderful interview. And Steve wanted to say no, Steve, hold on. Say goodbye to everybody from Arizona.
Hello, everyone from Arizona.
Hey,
he's going to be he's heading back to Greece tonight or today in just a couple hours. So you guys have a great one. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Blake. Thank you, team, for everything you laid on the court for our community this week. Appreciate it. And Harold, always a privilege to talk to you. How have you been? I believe I hit the unmute for you. It's a little button there. You're coming on now, Harold, right? Hell's Rethink. Hell, I think you have to click something to be able to allow you to speak. Look for your microphone icon at the bottom. I see you, but I don't hear you.
Yeah, he's unmuted, Dale. So maybe perhaps it's got the wrong he's got the wrong microphones. Yeah, audio source plugged in. Yeah, so he's just got to switch the audio source there.
You have to switch the audio source if you know how to do it. I don't know. Harold. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, we can't hear you, buddy. Okay. There's nothing I could do remotely or you could do. I see his mic is open. Oh.
Yeah, next to his,
I think he left.
No, he's still here.
Connected?
I see him.
Okay.
Next to the mute button, there should be an arrow, and it allows him to select which microphone he's using.
Yeah. So Harold, if you scroll where all the icons are, for me, it's at the bottom of the page right now, and you go to where the microphone is, you can change your setting.
Yeah, it'll be right here.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can show you guys, Harold. If you're, and this is me looking at my Zoom screen, so I'm going to go ahead and share that. So you can see right here next to your mute button that's on the bottom of your screen, you should be able to select this little button right here. It's a little arrow, and that'll allow you to select which microphone you want to choose.
And Harold's never had a problem before.
No, but I know Harold does a lot of interviews, so if he uses a different platform, what happens is, being on a different platform, he's gonna automatically
look at that Aussie come back for you, Blake. Nice spot.
I picked up a lot of Aussie, so thanks, man. Yeah, so
you're gonna have to have a Forster's this afternoon.
There you go. Yeah, I'll take a beer. I'll take, please. Harold, any luck? Any luck?
We're gonna have to do this again. I have a feeling.
Yeah. It's quite possible,
because I had some things I wanted to ask him, in particular what his daughter is sharing, and something he talked about a long time ago. It's this right here. Where did I put it? Here. That's a big cable, everyone.
That is a big cable.
And basically the spectator is saying, it's amazing we have our whole, technical infrastructure.
Yeah.
This connects the continents, okay, not just Britain. That is, steel. What if they're cut? Who would want to cut cables like that? Anyone Blake?
I know a few people.
Yeah, there's probably an adversary or two that wouldn't mind causing us
a little bit
discomfort.
of havoc, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't think we're going to be able to talk to Harold today.
That's a shame. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll bring him back. I'll bring him back next cancel. The Forex guest hunter. I found the guest, but now I have to be Forex technical expert, which I'm like Harold. I would have the same problem. So, have a great weekend, Blake. I want to thank you for leading the crew into a new era for ForexAnalytix, and the growth is congratulations on the growth and everything that's going on, and the job that we do, I think, is better than anyone out there, as far as a group of people, a nucleus of talented people that care about people is very rare, and great to be part of it.
Well, thanks, Dale. It's nice to have you as part of the crew as well, and really, being the shining star for. I hear a microphone.
Oh, Harold. I think I hear Harold.
I think I hear Harold too. Harold?
I don't know what the problem was.
Oh my God, he's here. He's here.
All right.
Hey,
great.
All right, guys.
All right. So, we'll just have to edit.
Let me run through a couple of things first. The one thing I've been hitting you with in the past is that the four big exporters, Germany, China, Japan, and South Korea, their model would peter out, and that they would no longer be able to run on export surpluses as an engine from now on out. So I'm not going to argue the point now, just keep it in mind. Second point, I did say I thought that the yuan would, during the course of the year, begin to fall. I think it will fall quite a bit in the coming months. the Chinese economy is not going to rebound. It's now set, I believe, for several years of very slow growth, under 2% annually. And that's going to change a lot of thinking. Now,
Okay. So why is why is it weakening against the dollar in light of that China's not going to recover?
well, China needs an export surplus.
Okay,
By the way,
so yeah, beggar thy neighbor.
So without
Yeah.
it, they can't move. And
Right.
So to sell anything, they'll have to keep weakening.
Right.
Now, the new control of Xi Jinping is going to be underestimated by everyone. He wants to control everything, which means that eventually he's going to look at a weak economy and the foreign producers operating inside China. And I believe China will gradually move towards taking over the foreign companies completely. So I think the end of US companies, for example, participating inside China is coming. May not be in a year, but within a few years.
I read
And
that they even say they own the moon and Mars and
well,
didn't he
there
say
you go.
that, Harold? You know, it's a philosophy they have about being rulers
It's a
of the world.
philosophy. But
Huh?
anyway, let's turn to the U.S. outlook.
Okay.
We don't know, of course, until Tuesday. Well, until sometime after Tuesday, what will be the new picture. But the latest polls in recent days suggest not only House taken over by Republicans, but the Senate looks to be tipping toward Republican majority. Now, what's important to understand is under the Constitution, the House has full control of any measures affecting revenues, whether taxes or spending. So if the House decides to do nothing or do little, then the president can do nothing. The president most likely in that case will spend his time on foreign policy because he won't have domestic power. So what is the outlook? Well, I think there's been a lot of misunderstanding about Powell up till now. When Powell was about to start his press conference, he looked at the stock market screen and grimaced quite a bit. And then he turned into his super horse presentation.
Yeah.
We're going to keep going. We're going higher than everybody thinks. It's my judgment. You know, I'm around Washington atmosphere and people a lot, and I have a pretty good feel of what's on his mind. And I think everybody's underestimating. He does want a significant downturn in the S&P. He does want a serious recession to start. So he thinks it's necessary to get the economy slowed down, but also to get rid of a lot of the asset bubbles. So he wants a dive in the S&P, and one way or another, if we start to slide there, the Fed will do nothing to stop it. So I think everybody's underestimating how serious he is about hitting hard on the brakes. He does want a hard landing, but he can't say that.
Right. So he's not going to be Captain Sully gliding the aircraft onto the Hudson River.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
he's really
me ask you this, Harold. So he's frustrated with the resilience of the stock market holding up,
yeah.
despite what he's done, which it is
Right.
doing again. So what if the stock market refuses to cooperate with Powell? He's just going to tighten us into oblivion till he gets
It may
3,000 or
well be
2,500 S&P.
the restraint on him will be the FOMC vote. There are 4 or 5 FOMC members who are what I call Biden puppets.
They're dissenting from, because their statement was crafted and what he said was different,
Right.
right? Okay.
I think the vice chairman, Lyle Brainerd, has signaled that she's becoming concerned about so-called stability of the market.
Yeah.
And so they're focused on institutional crises. So that balance could change. But if it doesn't, I think Powell really wants the S&P down at least to
3,000.
3,200,
Yeah.
and maybe
Okay.
lower. So now inflation
Is that, but let me ask you this. I've heard the explanation for it. Is that our economy is so financialized that you could run the economy based upon the level of the stock market?
Yeah.
Is that true? That's the world we live in now.
it is.
Okay.
And I think that's, he's out of that world of financialization. He was
Right.
private equity and all that stuff. So now the jobs market is going to have a surprise after we get through the year, because the data adjustment that the Labor Department must make to reconcile its real data from the monthly seasonally adjusted data, which is full of assumptions about things like birth and death of jobs. Probably there's about 1 million jobs in excess in the numbers. So we're going to see the jobs are not nearly as robust as everybody thinks they are, but it'll come not tomorrow morning, but we get that shock.
Next year, Harold, next year is when we feel the real pain and see it on our TV screens. The work they did manifesting.
That's right. Now,
next year, what do you think? Mid-year, later in the year? What's your best
early
guess?
Months, early months. So the recession is look live and severe. And I think that's why people like Jamie Dimon are trying to warn everybody it's going to be worse than everybody thinks.
Do you think that's the beginning of the end of the king dollar? That the dollar, it's trying to reverse its trend? Could the dollar weaken in that scenario?
No.
Still a strong dollar because the Fed wants one.
It's not the Fed only on the Treasury. The euro can't possibly remain strong.
Okay. The problem's in Europe.
And China, the yuan is going to weaken. And the Japanese are barely holding the yen where it is. I mean, they have to keep, with words or with action, they have to keep pecking at it, but not going below 150. So
right. Okay.
The pressure
under 146, it's gonna look like they were successful. Do you think the Fed? I know the Fed didn't intervene, but they intervened in a different way by leaking that article last Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I mean, they didn't have to go into the FX market. They just leaked an article. Do you think eventually the Fed is going to be forced to help Japan in their fight against a stronger dollar? Because aren't they the lender of last resort to the whole world
Yeah.
now, the Fed?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they have credit swaps with Credit Suisse.
Right.
If he's going to have to bail out the whole world.
Yeah, and especially euro. The euro won't survive the next year without a huge currency swap. And with the Republicans in the House,
They're not
and
going
maybe
to do it.
probably in the Senate, they'll try to push back. So it will be interesting to see
Okay.
if the Fed and the Treasury feel they are able to provide extensive currency swaps to help the euro. They may not be able to. So the euro, to me, looks like it's going to have a rough downturn somewhere during the year.
Okay.
So now, what I think should not be underestimated is paralysis means no fiscal relief. If we have a recession, no
Right.
response from Congress, no extra money spent, no stimulus.
Right.
So
Austerity. America hasn't felt austerity in a long time, have we?
that's correct. Not really.
Okay,
So
so this could be a new experience for people that I can't remember the last period of austerity in the U.S. Can you?
well, anybody under 45 has never known any.
Yeah. Okay.
And they don't, none of those people are familiar with a down market.
Are they going to cut Social Security and other entitlements if they take the House
They
and the
might
Senate?
try, but it's very, very hard to do that. If the Republicans are trying to win the presidency in 2024, the rule in considering what to do with Social Security is old people vote. Young people don't always show up to vote. So
Yeah.
it's very,
Okay.
very hard until the Republicans get through 2024 before they can really hack it. So
Who's going to be their nominee, Harold? Just a guess. And your guesses are better than guesses, but who do you think?
Well, right now, I would say it's going to be DeSantis simply because he has momentum. But
Okay.
there are a number of faces coming, and I've never seen so much confusion. Trump is going to get injured by a series of court cases. He's going to run out of money. And then it'll be hard to collect money if it looks like he can't control the money. The money will be taken by the government. So
Okay.
it's an open field. But DeSantis has the momentum, but it's a big puzzle because he's not been addressing national issues. He's not been addressing foreign issues. He's just
Right.
doing a bang up job in Florida, but the country will want more than that. So
Yeah.
And I don't think Biden will survive running again. And then there's another big unknown. So
when you look across the Democratic field, who is it going to be? Gavin? Don't tell me Gavin Newsom.
well, the candidates right now, I hope none of them. The big surprise might be Michelle Obama, who comes out of nowhere, and that would change the whole. I'm not in favor.
Michelle and Oprah as vice president. Yeah. Anyway, I was wondering if we could switch to some geo because Pippa retweeted this picture I saw sometime this week, and you talked about this 6 months ago. You see the cable?
Yeah.
All right. So are we getting to the point where why don't we talk about what's happening in Ukraine. What do you think?
I'm following Ukraine very closely because I have minds in with most of the Europeans. And strangely, I have fairly good interaction even with Moscow because I wrote some public articles about Putin in which I try to explain him, but I didn't attack him. And since then, I've had communications from time to time. So I think I have a pretty good feel, and I think Pip is not far off the mark. We're at a very delicate moment. And
Yes.
the problem is, I think the White House is determined to humiliate Putin. And as some people may know, I met Putin and talked to him at length 7 years before he became president. I know him a little bit for a long time. And he's not somebody who will go out peacefully. He'll assert, move to dramatic problems. So it's very, very dicey at the moment. So I think that's a big unknown in the picture. He's run out of ability to win on the battlefield, so he needs to do something to force a U.S.-Russia direct face-to-face discussion of how to stabilize the world, and that's what he wants.
So he's looking for an out. You believe he wants to end this war?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay.
It's becoming an embarrassment.
Isn't it existential for him if he ends a war in this state? There's news reports about, I forgot his name, who runs that militia, actually challenging
Prigozhin, who runs Wagner.
So they're already jockeying, different people jockeying for, there'll be a power struggle.
What he needs is an agreement from Biden to sit down and talk about European security, however fuzzy that is. He needs to be seen face to face with the US president. That may save him. But if he can't get that, I'm not talking about the substance of what they decide, but rather that they meet and start a discussion. And that discussion can go on for months, even years. It's up till now, Biden is saying, I don't really want to talk to him. And so that, to me, is the big puzzle. And I don't think they want to talk about Ukraine. I think what Putin wants to talk about is some broader, fuzzy idea about what is the long-term border of pressure between NATO and the US on the one side and Russia on the other. I don't think he needs an immediate answer. I think he just needs talk.
Right.
I'm not sure.
So a meeting like that legitimizes him again and gives him back his credibility. Do you think he's going to have to, what cards does he have left to play? Tactical nuke?
Yeah, he can. And we don't have small nukes to respond. So if he uses, nukes in artillery shells, they can do damage, they create radiation, but they don't necessarily blow up cities.
No.
We don't have it. We have city busters. We don't have anything small.
Okay.
So it's going to be a very tricky moment. And at the heart of it, what the whole thing is all about, the news has not covered this, is the backbone of the Nordic countries and Poland is the US Second Fleet, which has a lot of submarines with nuclear capable missiles.
Oh, and they poked their nose above water, I heard this week, right? To show the world that they're there, huh?
They're showing off they're there. we have B-52 bombers stationed in the Arctic Circle in Norway. We are showing you don't want to do this, but you know, Putin is desperate. So desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah. So that's a worry. Any reason you could see why he flipped? At first, he wanted to back out of the grain deal with the wheat, and wheat soared for a day and a half, and then for some reason he said, "Okay, well, we changed our mind again."
Well, he was pissed off about the drones going after his ships, but Turkey's Erdogan is now pretty much in control of the grain shipments. So basically, Erdogan is just saying, you know, back off. We're going to let the shipments keep going.
Yeah, that wheat's been sitting in silos for 6 months. I don't know if I'd want to eat it, but if you're starving,
that's right.
Yeah, I mean the global food situation. I don't see it improving. I don't care what the Fed does. They can't print agricultural commodities, and I think that's going to make the Fed. Oh, maybe it gives Powell the justification to keep tightening and tightening, even though they can't control food prices unless you know everyone goes on a diet. Right, Harold? I mean, how are they going to bring down inflation if we have food shortages?
I think we're going to see dramatic decline in almost all the inflationary pressures except food.
Yeah.
But food is a whole different ballgame because it's determined by multi-year developments in crops, weather, fertilizer,
Mother Nature.
Supply. And if we have a really bad year, this year we're having a bad year with not only the Ukraine problem, but the droughts in some parts of the world, floods in other parts of the world.
Europe and India shaved off 10 tons. You know, it's happening everywhere from the hot weather.
That's right. So the US
what about rivers drying up like the Mississippi and the Rhine and the Great Danube?
When the rivers dry up, you can't move the products.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. Anyway, I hate bull markets and grains, but they're bull markets. And can we just any thing on your mind after Xi went through the election and had one of his predecessors taken away at the ceremony, or and what his goals and things he said? Do we have to worry about the Taiwan Straits now? Because I've heard statements that Xi said we have to prepare for World War in 7 years. Is that to make everyone complacent that it's not around the corner?
It's no doubt in my mind he would like to move on Taiwan now that he's consolidated power.
Right.
But his Navy, this is a maritime battle. His Navy is totally familiar with our Navy.
Right.
What's never been in the news is the two navies have been talking to each other extensively ever since Tiananmen Square, when Bush 41 severed diplomatic relations with China and ordered the Commander-in-Chief Pacific to create a new network of diplomacy through the Navy. And that has continued quietly ever since. The two navies know each other. Chinese Navy understands the firepower of the U.S. Navy. There's no desire to have a battle at sea with the U.S. Navy.
Good news.
And in fact, Xi is aware of it. Ordered the Navy to stop talking to the U.S. About 6 weeks ago. But I underestimate that restraint. Big militaries don't like bloodshed if it means that they're going to lose the lives of their own people. The rearranging its defense system. What we should be doing is cut the army in half or more, build up our capabilities at sea and in the air in Europe. And then if the Chinese move on Taiwan, we not only have the firepower of our Pacific fleet, we would also have a second strike capability of moving everything by air and sea to the same area and hit them twice. They couldn't sustain.
Okay, we're having a little trouble with the volume. But Harold, you know, it's always great talking to you, and I'm going to try and bring you back sooner so that we could catch up and not have any technical difficulties because yeah, we need yeah, but I want to thank you for being here and filling us in and sharing the intelligence gathering that you do on your own with the, you know, the rest of the world on these, you know, these little shows. You're a watchman for us here in our community by keeping us in touch with things that we can't read about or see.
Let me end with a comment that a number of really big institutions here and abroad have been approaching me recently saying, you know, we don't really have exactly this. I have a watchman who can see what's happening and analyze it. Would you put together a small team to provide that for the big institutions? And I am doing that now. So you may see something soon. It won't be retail, but it may be exactly what you're talking about. A watchman who can evaluate without the drama of US or European or Russian political disinformation.
Yeah. Well, when, you know, things are going smoothly, everyone's a genius, right? And when things aren't, when things aren't, they need an expert, which you certainly are, Harold. So great talking to you. And
I'm sorry about the sound problem.
That's okay. That's show business.
New apparatus.
Yeah, that's show business. But anyway, if I don't talk to you by then, you know, have a great fall and holiday season, and keep in touch with me on any new developments. And we could always get you in for, if you see something you want to address, I'll find a way to get you in. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to send you some alerts as we get into this.
All right. So if everyone can follow Harold at Hale's Rethink, and also I did show here's his website at malgren-si.org, and check out some of his research. And you know, it's great to have it right at your fingertips. So that's going to be a wrap for me, everyone. You could join the team in 7 minutes. Hope you enjoyed Harold and you know, all the guests we had this week, and have a great weekend. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone Monday. Thanks again, buddy.
Okay, thanks.
All right,
Bye.
Harold. Bye-bye.